Hello friends, in this video I would be explaining about the virtual function in C++. Suppose we have a class A and a class B, where class B publicly inherits class A and both class A and B have void display function. Now there is a concept in C++ where the pointer of parent class can store the reference of child class. Here let A be the pointer of parent class and B be the reference of child class. So pointer of parent class, that is A, can store the reference of the object of child class. Let's see an example. Suppose we have a main function. In this we have created a point of parent class, okay, base class, and we have created a reference of child class. Okay, now the pointer of parent class is storing the reference of child class. So through that, okay, through that we are calling the function. Now can you imagine which function would be called? Can you guess which function would be called? Let's see it with an example. I'll close it. It is the same example. We have a class A and a class B, where class B is publicly inheriting class A. Okay, both A and B are having, we have a class A, okay, and there is a class B, okay, and class B is publicly inheriting class A, and both A is having a void display function and B is also having a void display function. Okay, similar to the previous one what we have seen in the slide, we have main function. Here is the pointer to parent class, okay, and here we have a reference of child class. Okay, the pointer of parent class is storing the reference of child class and the function display is be called. Now we expect, what we expect from this, we expect that the display function from the child class is called. Let's see what happens. I go to execute, I'll compile, again there is no error, I'll run. See what is happening. Here the parent class function is called. Why it is happening so? Here comes the concept of early binding. When we compile the code, the compiler keeps ready all the things with itself. Like the compiler tells itself when to jump on which line of the code when the function is called. In early binding, the compiler does not care about the address the pointer is holding. Okay, the compiler is just worried about the type of pointer. It doesn't care about the address of the pointer. So what the compile does, it will display the function which is there in the parent class. That means this is the case of early binding. Early binding always occur in polymorphism. When we pass the reference of subclass, to the pointer of a parent class, then the member function of the parent class is never overridden. That is, a member function is, the display of the parent class is never overridden. When the program is executed, the compiler knows this. The compiler knows that I don't have to override the function of the member class. So obviously it would execute the function of the member class. But we can do this execution in runtime also. We can tell the compiler that you have to execute the member function of the child class by telling it that you have to bind at runtime only. You don't have to bind at the compile time, you have to bind at runtime. This can be done by using a simple keyword virtual. By using this keyword, the with the this makes the function virtual. By using this keyword, we are telling the compiler that you have to override this method at any cost. That is, virtual keyword tells the compiler that he has to override the member function of the parent class. Now see what is the output. Just compile and run. Okay, see, class B output is there. Okay, this is a concept of runtime binding and compile time binding. In runtime binding, the compiler decides during the execution of the program that I have to execute which function. But in the case of early binding, or in case of compile time binding, it is already known to the compiler. The compiler already knows that at any cost I have to run the function of the parent class. So it will run. It won't bother about the address which is assigned to the pointer of the parent class. Okay, it would run the function of the parent class. But when we use a virtual keyword, we are telling the compiler that the compilation, that the execution of the program should be done at the runtime, that the binding should be done at the runtime. So in that case, it would check and it would display, it would print, or it would call the function which is in the base class. Thank you. Please subscribe and please follow us for further videos. Thank you.